When it comes to sports and activities, Indiana is best known for car racing, home to the legendary Indy 500. It has also a deep basketball heritage, often called the birthplace of high school hoops. But today we're looking at something new taking root in the Hoosier state, paddle. That's right, paddle. Or is it Padel? Honestly, it's so new in the US that people are still arguing over where to put the accent. However you say it, the sport is growing fast, and this Indiana project is proof. In this case study, we take you behind the scenes of Indiana's first paddle facility, a project that shows how vision, market timing, and smart partnerships can turn an empty warehouse into a racket sports destination. And it all started with a simple search on our supplier directory at sportsvenuecalculator.com, where the facility owners discovered their court partner, Padel Alba. This is NorthPoint Paddle, and this is how it happened. Paddle is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. In the US, the sport is catching on, with hundreds of courts now open across more than 30 states. From coastal cities to heartland suburbs, communities are embracing paddle's fast pace, small footprint, and low barrier to entry. In 2025 alone, more than 35,000 visitors used Sports Venue Calculator to explore and estimate paddle courts and facilities, with an average project value of about $224,000 per facility. The hotspots, Florida, California, Texas, New York, and Ontario are leading the way. And until recently, Indiana wasn't on that map. That changed with the opening of NorthPoint Paddle in Westfield. Opened in January of 2026, NorthPoint Paddle is Indiana's first dedicated paddle facility. Housed in a clean, functional warehouse space, it features 2 premium panoramic courts, automated booking, and a 24/7 access model tailored to modern players.
So this all began in the summer of 22 while the family was vacationing in Spain. We were on the island of Mallorca and happened to run across Rafi Nadal's training academy. I wanted to see it, walked in the pro shop and saw a racket on the wall that I had never seen before. And that's where the idea of NorthPoint Paddle was born.
So why Westfield? This isn't just a convenient suburb of Indianapolis. It's one of Indiana's fastest growing cities, with a booming population, strong local investment, and a reputation as a top destination for families and recreation.
So when I reached out to Brian and his brother Ben about this idea, the big question I had was, where could I find a nice warehouse location with very high ceilings? And it just so happens that they're in the logistics business. They own, I think, 4 warehouses. And obviously I wanted to find something that was here in the north suburbs of Indianapolis, because this is probably the heaviest concentration of racket sport players in the region.
Okay. I think that's one of the challenges that a lot of clubs have is local zoning laws and ordinances in place that prevent, or that are a challenge to get a facility that has high ceilings, because typically that's an industrial building, and industrial zoning in the States is hard to come by. So we already had the facility, we already have a large warehouse with 32-foot ceilings.
The owner had a clear vision: bring a new sport to Indiana that was fun, accessible, and future-proof. To bring that vision to life, he partnered with court supplier Padel Alba, a company with over 25 years of experience designing and manufacturing paddle courts globally.
When we first started looking for potential court manufacturers, it was an article from the Sports Venue Calculator that I ran across online, where Alba was listed with as part of the top 5 in the US, and we started looking at all 5 of those. So really our research on the court manufacturer started with the Sports Venue Calculator.
Padel Alba supplied and supported the installation of 2 high-end panoramic courts designed for durability, performance, and visual appeal. Their courts are now being used in clubs across North America, but NorthPoint was one of the first to bring them to the Midwest.
Yeah, as they were saying, John and Brian contacted me from August. They had lots of questions, so I knew they were very good clients and very serious from the start. Lots of good questions, and we got the order and sent the courts out in November, arrived in December, and then we're working with a company in the Midwest, MTJ Sports, who are able to install paddle courts. They have experience already in doing that. We sent out our technical director.
NorthPoint installation went very well. The team went down there to work on 2 Padel courts for 8 days and actually got the project done ahead of schedule in a matter of 4.5 days, leaving the customers, John and Brian in Indiana, very happy and now they have a new paddle arena.
Let's talk about the heart of this facility, the courts themselves. NorthPoint Padel features 2 full panoramic courts supplied by Padel Alba, a Spanish manufacturer with deep experience in the US market and multiple court installations in the Northeast, in the New York, New Jersey area, and further afield in states like Texas, Colorado, and Nevada. The model they chose offers 360-degree visibility, top-tier glass, and a sleek design that immediately makes the space feel premium.
Can I just mention as well, it may be useful, we produce two or three types of courts for the US market: the panoramic, the full panoramic, and the panoramic 125, which withstands wind speeds of up to 125 miles per hour. Obviously, for indoor courts, we spoke to Brian and John about the panoramic and the full panoramic.
And because it's an indoor setup, they don't need the wind-resistant specs. Instead, they went with performance and aesthetics. These are the kinds of courts you'd expect to see in a high-end club in Madrid or Miami. If you're in the early stages of planning a Padel facility, projects like this offer some valuable lessons. First, start with feasibility. Before you break ground, understand your local market. Who are your potential players? How saturated is the fitness or racket sports scene? Can your community support this type of facility year-round? Second, assess the market opportunity. Westfield worked because it had the right mix: a growing population, strong sports culture, and high foot traffic. Look for signals in your area, like used sports infrastructure, private club demand, or underused commercial space.
Auntie, the answer is no. We did not do a formal market study. This was sort of a intuition that we've seen the rise of pickleball in the US, and we've seen how that has brought more people into racket sports, had never had a racket in their hand in their lives. And the intuition was that people have realized how sociable and fun racket sports can be, how accessible and easy it is to pick up the game and be able to quickly enjoy it.
Third, build a real business plan. That includes startup costs, pricing strategy, membership models, staffing needs, and a realistic revenue projection. Too many facilities skip this step, and it shows.
Yeah, and then I guess the other thing would be making the big decision around whether you want to go for an automated facility or a traditional club where you've got employees. And we made the decision to go for the automated facility, which I guess it limits your ability to do things like pro shops and offer food and drink, and those are big decisions to make as well, I guess, for a new club opening, is whether you're going to go for that full multi-amenity club or whether you're trying just to build a quality paddle facility with just paddle. And that's kind of what we've done and taken the automated approach. So those were some of the key things that we, I guess, had to decide early on that others would have to make similar decisions around.
Fourth, think about funding. Whether it's self-financed, investor-backed, or grant-supported, your financial model needs to align with your long-term goals. And don't underestimate build-out and permitting costs. Finally, choose the right supplier. Your courts are your product. Working with an experienced partner like Padel Alba can save you time, reduce risk, and ensure your courts meet the quality expectations of serious players. Padel is still new in many parts of the US, which means early movers have a real advantage, but only if the foundations are solid. NorthPoint Padel may be a single project, but is part of a much larger shift. As Padel spreads across North America, more communities like this are stepping up, proving you don't need to be in Miami or Los Angeles to launch a successful club. For facility owners, this is a proof that Padel isn't just for the coasts. It's for any city with players, vision, and the right partners. If you're planning a Padel facility or just starting to explore the idea, check out our free tools to help you get started. Use our Padel court cost calculator for a tailored budget estimate. Browse our supplier directory to find trusted partners like Padel Alba, and explore potential funding in our grants database. The links are in the description. We'll be sharing more projects like this from across the US and Canada, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more Padel case studies, construction insights, and planning tips.